Hi everybody, today is January 11th, 2014. Guinea decides to probe Senegalese detention of Russian trawler. The council minister said in an official statement the commission comprising foreign, interior defense, and health ministry officials would look into the arrest of the Russian ship by the Senegalese military. At the time of the detention, the Russian fishing vessel had a fishing permit issued by Guinea-Bissau's Fishery Ministry, the government statement runs. After the seizure of the ship by Senegalese military, our maritime observers on board the fishing boat were beaten up. The government of Guinea-Bissau said it described such action by the Singula as a crude violation of international laws that by no means contribute to maintaining a climate of peace and neighborliness. The Russian fishing boat was detained in the territorial waters of Guinea-Bissau on January 5, 2014. It has been under arrest at the port of Dakar ever since. There are 82 people on board, 62 Russian citizens, and 20 from Guinea-Bissau, including 2 observers. Earlier, the captain said the crew needed medical assistance. The crew of the trawler may be released on bail. The Senegalese authorities are working on a document regarding the terms of the vessel's release. Russian diplomats are hoping to hold negotiations with the Senegalese authorities and get an explanation as to why the ship had been detained. Currently, the crew detained at the vessel had no access to medical aid and were running out of fresh water. A French military ship located in the same port will help this other crew. Today, they handed over some drinking water over to the Russian vessel. The Russian trawler had been held in port of Dakar for 5 days, but the Senegalese authorities have not explained the reason for the detention and have not brought up any official legal claims to the Russian side. During the vessel's detention, the crew members sustained various injuries, with the captain complaining of pain in his kidneys, but they cannot receive the needed medical assistance as nobody is allowed off the trawler. The military guard that took away the crew's documents right after the vessel arrived at the port are guarding the ladder and the decks. No electricity has been provided to the ship, and the garbage disposal services are not allowed to take away any garbage. A Russian Foreign Ministry Special Representative for Human Rights, Democracy, and Rule of Law called the situation to be an infringement of the rights and interests of the Russian citizens. We are continuing to work hard towards the liberation of the vessel and the crew as soon as possible. We continue to press the Senegalese side for proper explanation of all the circumstances of the vessel's detention. We believe that the Senegalese side ought to fulfill all of its obligations to observe the lawful rights and interests of the Russian citizens at international level, including providing medical assistance to the captain of the ship. Meanwhile, talks between the Russian diplomats and the government of Senegalese, set first for January 7th and then January 8th, are constantly being proposed. Rosviglatska links that fact to the pressure coming from the environmental organization Greenpeace. One of its members, Senegal's Fishery Ministry, took part in the detention of the vessel, said the head of Rivlatska's Center for Public Relations. It was he who gave the orders to capture the vessel, as he has such authority. Actually, all that mess around the trawler and all the stories regarding Russia's fishing in that region are tied to Greenpeace. The organization is used as an instrument in harsh competition for the fish in that region. Everybody understands that perfectly well. Such actions for Greenpeace are not rare. For example, last year, activists of that organization tried to take over the oil-producing platform in the Pecora Sea. It was exactly the failure of that operation that could have caused the displeasure of those who ordered it, and provoked the attack on the Russian vessel. In that case, Greenpeace is turning into an instrument of political pressure. And this is what the head of the Institute for the New States thinks. That transparency and at the same time the firmness of the use of law that were involved in the resolution of the problem with the extremists or in the territorial maritime belt definitely somewhat annoyed those who initiated that story. They clearly failed to accomplish what they wanted. That is why they come up with such operations. Let me remind you that in a month we have a grand international event, the Winter Olympics. In my opinion, the closer we are to the Olympics, the more frequent the attempts to throw a fly in a huge and remarkable container of ointment will be. Well, that's a new twist to the story, isn't it? There's another article that's showing injuries to the captain and its crew members that were supposedly beaten by the Senegalese military. Evidently, this is off the coast of Africa. I had never heard of this area before. What a strange story. Alright, bookmark my site. I'll keep you up to date. Please stay safe, and I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.